So if we relook to our previous session, then we have discussed about how to form different structure equations. What is basic purpose of structure equation? Using those structure equations, you can get following details. What are the details we get from structure equation? First is number of feet per stage number of stages and how many speeds we get in each stage, number of shafts, number of gear pairs, then layout of the arrangement of gearbox, right? So this many informations we get once we form structure equations, right? Now today we are going to discuss about how to form structure diagrams. How to form structure diagram from structure equations. So there are some basic rules. Step by step, those rules we will discuss. First is we need to draw vertical lines. So numbers of vertical lines are equals to one more than the number of stages. Number of vertical lines are equals to n plus 1, where n is numbers of stages. If you recall our previous lecture, then we discussed that n is equals to n1 plus n2, where this n1 plus s2 is nothing but z number of speeds available from gearbox, then 2 raised to n1 into 3 raised to n2. So this n1 and n2 are nothing but power of 2 and 3. So n is n1 plus s n2, and number of vertical lines in structure diagram, they are equals to 1 more than number of stages. So n stands for number of stages. Then second rule is we need to draw horizontal lines. So numbers of horizontal lines are equals to numbers of speeds available from gearbox. So Z is number of speeds available from gearbox. So second is we need to draw number of horizontal lines, they are equals to Z, where Z is number of speeds available from gearbox. Right? So let us take one case where we want 4 number of speeds. So now here we are taking one example, and through example we will try to understand how to draw structure diagram. from structure equation. So suppose four number of speeds we want from gearbox, then divide this 4 into 2 and 3, and so 2 cross 2. This is called as a P1 and this is called as a P2, right? So here 2 raised to 2 and 3 raised to 0. This is what the structure, basic structure equation, right? But now here, if you look, how many stages? Number of stages. Then for number of stages, as we know, it's a n factorial square divided by q factorial, right? So if you look here n is how much? This is n1 and this is n2. So n2 is 0, n1 is 2. So n is 2. So from this we can say n is equals to 2. So if we put this n is equals to 2 here, that's a 2 factorial square, right? And q is what? The redundant number of p. So here we have p1 and p2, both are equal. Then we can say both. First we need to go for 2 stages. From this we can identify number of stages. In stage 1 we get 2 speeds, and in second stage we get remaining 2 speeds. In that way we get 4 number of speeds from gearbox. But in both the stages available speeds are same. Number of speeds available are same. So that we write as a 2. Then we can say it's a 4 by 2. Then 2 structure equation we can form. So let us write structure equations based on our previous session. So 2 main structure equation, I say Z1 is equals to 2, 2. See here P1 and P2 are same. So we have only one option, 2, 2. We cannot, if we change position of P1 and P2, then we are getting same values, 2, 2. So we have only one choice, Z1, but we can change position of fundamental group, means position of characteristics number. So this is x1 and I'll write here x2. Similarly, second possible structure equation, 2, 2, but now this time I am writing here x1 and here x2, right? So today we'll discuss in more detail what is x1 and what is x2. So these are the 2 possible structure equations for 4 number of speed gearbox, right? Now, as I told you, always x1 is 1. So if I write here 1, then 2, x1 is 1, then what is x2? x2 is p1 x1. So p1 is 2, x1 is 1. So 2 into 1, 2, that is x2, and 2 into 2, 4. So in that way we get total 4 number of speeds. Similarly here, in the second stage, we have considered x1. So 2 into 1. 2 into 1, that is 2. So x2 is again 2, and 2 into 2 we get total 4 speed. So these are the 2 structure equations. We have only changed position of x1 and x2 in 2 structure equations, right? Now let us draw structure diagram. So as I told you, how many vertical lines we need to draw? One more than the number of stages. Now how many stages we need to go for? Stage 1 and stage 1 and stage 2. So we need to go for 2 stage. So that's why number of vertical lines are one more than number of stages. So I draw here 3 vertical lines. This is called as the input shaft, which is actually connected to motor. This last is called as output shaft, which is connected to spindle. And this second one, that is intermediate shaft, right? Now, how many horizontal lines we need to draw? Horizontal lines are equals to number of speeds available from gearbox. So 4 number of speeds available from gearbox. So we need to go for 4 lines. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the 4 lines, 4 horizontal lines, because we get 4 number of speeds from gearbox. So let me write here, this bottommost line is N1, then N2 speed, N3 speed and 4 speed. Right now we are not talking about geometric progression. So if you look, this is N1, then N2 is what? It's a 5 times N1. Then how much geometric progression between these two? 5. Similarly between these two, again 5, and between last two, 5. So this is what the concept of GP, geometric progression series. Successive speeds, they are having progression of 5:1, right? So next now, on input shaft, we need to take midpoint of this input shaft. So I will take point between line N2 and N3 here. Now see, which structural equation for a structure diagram, for which structural equation we want to draw. Suppose if I take this one first, then which one is my structure equation? 2, 1, 2, 2. This is the structure equation, 2, 1, 2, 2, right? So in stage 1, we get 2 speeds and with group characteristics number is 1. Now this number 1 is indicating what is the power of phi in first group. That is what called as a group characteristics number, which we discussed in previous session, right? So in first stage we'll get 2 speeds. So let me draw those 2 speeds. This is 1 and this is 2. Why I stop here N2 and N3 only? Because that is the importance of group characteristics number. I need to keep progression of geometric progression of 1 between 2 successive speeds in first stage. So that's why I have considered here 5:1. So this is what 5:1, right? Similarly, now let's go to next stage. Then again, each speed that will split into 2 distinct RPM. And how much progression I need to keep for the second stage? It's a 5:2, right? Because this is the characteristics number. So 5:2. So again, this line that will split into 2 more speeds. So one speed is divided into 2 speeds such that geometric progression between these 2 successive speeds should be 5:2, right? So that is what the importance of group characteristics number. Similarly now, again, if I follow this speed, then this speed again split into 2 RPMs. Which are remaining RPMs? N2 and N4. So N2 and N4 will get from this speed N3, which is indicated by brown color, right? So again these two will be having geometric progression of 5:2. So because group characteristics number is 2. So this is what we can say a structure diagram. This is the structure diagram for this structured equation. Now let's consider second structure equation. This is our second structure equation. So now second structure equation, which is 2 2 2 1. So again, as two stages are required to go for 4 number of speeds, so I need to draw 3 vertical lines, one more than the number of stages. Again, this is our first line is input shaft, last line is indicating output shaft, which is connected to spindle, and this is our intermediate shaft, shaft number 2, right? Again, I need to draw 4 horizontal lines. Each line is indicating RPM available from gearbox, right? So similarly, again, this lowest one that indicates lowest RPM available from gearbox, so that is N1, right? Similarly, this is N2, N3 and N4, right? Now, next I need to pick midpoint of line 1. Midpoint of line 1 means mid of speed N3 and N2. So that is here, right? Now, see the characteristics number. It's a means in stage 1 we get 2 speeds, and how much geometric progression we provide between 2 speeds? 5:2. So from this midpoint, if I take mid of N1 and N2, then how much I have kept here? 5:1. Just consider this as a midline. This is the midline, right? So 5:1, 5:1, that is split into 2 parts. So I need to provide 5:2 in stage 1 between 2 speeds. So that's why I have considered here 5:1. And now the second speed is again mid of N3 and N4. So here. So in that way, this is 5:2. Right? Now, let's talk about last stage. So in last stage, again we are getting 2 speeds, but with progression, geometric progression of 5:1. So now this speed, which is half of N1 and N2, from that I'll again get 2 speeds, which is N1 and N2 with geometric progression 5:1. So here we got 5:1. Similarly, from this speed we get N4 and N3. Again N4 and N3, they are having 5:1 progression. So if you look now, its output shaft, we have covered all 4 RPMs, N1, N2, N3 and N4. Similarly, N1, N2, N3 and N4. So both the structure equations and both the structure diagrams, so at the end we are getting 4 different RPM. Now in previous session, one question was asked, if we keep x1 and x2 same, then what happens? Just see here. If I do that, if this is 5:1, this is 5:2, and at the end again if I keep 5:2, then will not get predefined RPMs. Is it clear? So that's why we need to keep x1 and x2 different. If you keep both same, and that is actually violating law of geometric progression. You cannot keep these two same. Otherwise you get some different RPM which you are not defined or which you don't want actually, right? So these are the structured equations for 4 number of speeds, and these are the structure diagrams, right? I hope it is clear. Now let us draw layout of gearbox. To understand this structure diagrams, let us consider layout of gearbox. Now first we'll take this structure diagram. So first we want to draw layout for, see, both the structure diagram, they will give you same layout. Let me draw, because that layout is actually depends on P1 and P2. So if you look in both the equations, your P1 and P2 are same. So your layout of gearbox that actually depends on P1 and P2. Diameter of gears that depends on X1 and X2. That we'll see now how. So we want to draw structure diagram, that layout of gearbox for 2 cross 2 speeds. Then first of all, I'll draw one horizontal line which indicates input shaft. This is input shaft. This is connected to motor. What we are doing actually, we are rotating this diagram. This is intermediate shaft, shaft 2, and the last one is shaft 3. This is given here. So this is your input shaft, this is your intermediate shaft, and this is your output shaft, right? Now, in stage 1, so stage 1 is stage between shaft 1 and shaft 2. That is called as a stage 1. So let me write here, this is our stage 1 and this is stage 2. Now, how many speeds we get in stage 1? 2 number of speeds which are indicated by 2 different color lines here. So we want 2 speeds, right? Right now we are not discussing about what should be the diameter of gear so that we get required RPM. We are only talking about structure of gearbox, right? How gears are arranged. We are not talking about what should be the dimension, what are the number of teeth on gear. Yeah, so that we are not discussing right now. We are talking about how gears are arranged. So first I assume shaft 1 is a spline shaft. I consider one gear cluster with one gear cluster with 2 gears on it. So this line is indicated by one gear wheel and this is second line. So this is one gear cluster and input shaft is considered as a spline shaft. So this gear cluster can slide on this input shaft, right? Now I assume Opposite to this, it is made with one gear. Let me give name. This is A, this is B. So this will be B dash. So B dash and B, they are in contact. So that's why we are getting this speed, right? And as I told you, we can slide this gear cluster so that later when A is met with A dash, then we get some different RPM, which is indicated here by this line. So we are getting N3 and N2, right? We are getting N3 and N2. Now, in second stage, again we get two speeds. So stage 2 is between shaft 2 and shaft 3. So again, I just consider one gear cluster on output shaft. So I am considering one gear cluster on output shaft. Let me call this as a C and this is C dash. I consider one gear cluster. So I call this as a D dash, and opposite to that I have one another gear with name D on shaft 2, right? Now these gears, they are key joined on intermediate shaft, so they are fixed. So due to rotation of A dash, B dash, C and D, this shaft 2 that will rotate, right? And now this gear cluster which is on output shaft that can slide like this. If you look here, for 4 number of speeds, only 2 structure equations they are possible. So for both the structure equations, if you see, this gearbox arrangement is possible because this arrangement is independent of characteristics number. Because purpose of characteristics number is to define what should be the diameter of gear so that you can get particular speed, right? Here in this diagram you can see we are getting different speeds by different characteristics number, right? So that's why for both the characteristic this structure diagram, if you look this gearbox arrangement, then both the structure equations they are giving same arrangement, right? Because depending only P1, P2, P3 means those three values only, right? Now I'm just going to draw one another structure diagram. If you look here, this is a spline shaft. Similarly, this output shaft is a spline shaft and this intermediate shaft is a solid shaft. But now if I keep intermediate shaft as a spline shaft and if I arrange both the gear cluster on the intermediate shaft, if you recall demonstration lecture of lathe machine gearbox, in that gearbox intermediate shaft was given as a spline shaft. So both the gear clusters they were given on intermediate shaft. If you do that, then what change we get? If I just draw this diagram where I consider this is the input shaft. On that input shaft, we have suppose two gears. This is gear 1 and this is gear 2. So I call this as a B, and I consider gear cluster here. Right? So this is A dash and this one is B dash. Similarly, here I consider output shaft and one another gear cluster. I am assuming on this side. I call this gear as C and this gear as D, and this gear as C dash and this gear as D dash. What change I have offered here? Here I consider only intermediate shaft as a spline shaft, and both the gear clusters, they are mounted on intermediate shaft. This input and this output shaft, they are solid shaft, and on this solid shaft I have considered fixed gears, right? And now I am just offering one casing. Right? Now, if you look, any equation is applicable to any gearbox layout. Now in both this layout, if I call this layout as capital A and this second layout as capital B, then please give your preference in chat section. Which gearbox arrangement you prefer most, A or B? I hope question is clear. Here I have shown two gearbox layout. In gearbox A, we have input shaft as a spline shaft. One gear cluster is kept there. Output shaft as a spline shaft, and one another gear cluster is kept on the output shaft. And the intermediate shaft is the solid shaft. Instead of that, in arrangement B, layout B, I have considered input as a solid shaft, output as a solid shaft, and intermediate shaft only as a spline shaft. And both the gear clusters, they are kept on intermediate shaft. Then which gearbox arrangement you prefer, A or B? Or which gearbox arrangement you recommend most, A or B? Please give response in chat section. Please give your response. Okay, I got one response. It's correct. Other students, please give your response whether you select B or A. Reason is Pratit has given correct reason. Yeah. So we are getting quick responses now. Yeah. So Prasham and Pratik, they have given correct reason for selecting layout B. The reason is in layout B, we need to go for only one spline shaft. And on that spline shaft, two gear clusters are kept. Because it is also recommended to use solid shaft as a spindle shaft. So if you look this shaft tree, if you go for layout A, if you keep gear cluster on output shaft, then you need to go for spline shaft. If you go for spline shaft, then you reduce strength of spline shaft. So whenever you provide key slot, actually you are reducing his strength. So that's why you need to go for oversized shaft. So that is ultimately costly as well as strength wise it is not recommended. So that's why layout B is more recommended compared to layout A. Right? So better to keep only one spline shaft and better to provide gear cluster on that single spline shaft so that cost will also drop down and strength wise also it's good, right? So we keep up to this in today's session. If you have any further question or query, then you can ask. In next session we'll go with total 12 number of speeds and we'll go for uh, structure diagram for 12 number of speeds and gearbox arrangement as well. And at that time we'll discuss some recommendations based on which we need to select a correct uh, structure equation and structure diagram. If you look here, we have two possible structure equation and structure diagram. Then which is to be preferred? Actually we need to prefer this, not this. So what is the main reason for selecting this first structure diagram, not this second? That we'll discuss in the next lecture.